Okay, we are recording. We will officially kick off right now.
All right. Beautiful. Thank you all for tuning in. Let me show you did a mic check earlier, but okay.
We're getting some feedback.
Yeah. Okay, we good. All right. Thanks everybody for joining in. Habagani. What's the word?
Ujamaa.
Ujamaa. Okay. All right. Thank you. Yes, couldn't hear you, Ujima. I saw your mouth moving, but thank you. I knew you said the right thing. So I'm happy. It's an honor and pleasure to be with the Teaching Artists Institute, our fourth day of Kwanzaa. Of course, we have an amazing program scheduled for you this afternoon and evening if you're in Tanzania, of course, and other East African countries and the Netherlands. What time is it in the Netherlands? Anybody? Okay, you're muted, but okay.
8 o'clock in the evening.
All right, 8 o'clock, right. So thank you all for tuning in to this broadcast, but we're not going to be long with our discussion here. Sorry, we're at our office here, but so hopefully we can get into our discussion. We're going to have a discussion with several international audiences, and we can begin. Of course, my name is Haki Ami, the success scholar out of Baltimore, Maryland, Tubman City, author, speaker, public servant in this area. And so just looking forward to continuing to work with Teaching Artists Institute to expand an international audience and educate people about Kwanzaa. I've been engaged in Kwanzaa for the past, I'd say 20 years or so. So I'm looking forward to hearing much of the discussion today. And as Angela said, and you all who are just chiming in, we will be having a post broadcast, shall I say, with WURD, the amazing WURD in Philadelphia, 900 AM. And you can get the app WURD 900 AM with Brother Shamari, as well as he do his Kwanzaa. So without further ado, we have several speakers, but we're going to open. I see he's on. Brother Donald Okike, if he can unmute, and we'll allow for him to open us up. And, we can, since we didn't do libations, we can go 15 minutes with you, 15, 20. And we have Angela in, and I see Brother John as well from Tanzania as well as in. So these are speakers here. Thank you. Let me give a shout out to my brother Richard from Bagamoyo. I see you. Thank you, Brother Richard, and several other who will be joining us. Marcelin will be joining us tomorrow. So let's get started here. So Brother Donald, Elder, I do not have your bio in front of me, so you can open up in however you desire, and we look forward to hearing from you. So thank you, everybody, and enjoy the Thai fourth day of Kwanzaa.
Thank you very much, moderator. Thank you, fellow speakers. My name is Donald Okeke. Like you rightly said, I'm originally from Nigeria, and I'm based here in the Dutch city called The Hague, or Den Haag, as we call it in Dutch. And I'm a business economist. I'm the owner and founder of Templars and Masons BV. It's a limited liability company under the Dutch law that specializes in business development.
Greetings, Brother Donald. I'm sorry, it's Sister Angela. I hate to interrupt, but can you adjust your camera so we can see more of your headshot? Yeah, we want you to have it. There we are. Thank you so much. Continue.
Good. So thank you very much for bringing that to my notice. So tonight I'll be talking on cooperative economy, and I would like to conceptualize it, to look at it in the context of cooperative society. Okay, collective economy in the process of it. You look at it, there are four main categories of collective economy. One of which is the cooperative society, and the other three, it's the public sector, which could be local government, national, or international. But in the context of trying to bring the Black folks into collective economy. I'll be looking into the society and the local government level. Cooperative society has proven to be an agent of sustainable economic development. This is because it's bringing people of mutual interest together. And here the law of synergy plays in, okay, in the sense that every person in this collective society setup brings in something unique. So collectively, what they bring to this formation or economic formation in this context goes beyond what each and every one of them could have done individually. So this tells about the need of coming together to pool resources. These days, we've been hearing about crowdfunding. Crowdfunding is just about a group of people coming together, throwing in a little bit to raise substantial amount of money, which individuals they cannot raise from the bank or any of the financing institutions. So this is what cooperative brings together. And in the Black folks, we have to start seeing cooperative as a way of lifting ourselves to upper social or economic class, ways of improving our economics ways of enhancing our economic livelihood. And we've seen this in African context. The Africans, the Blacks are people who are socially organized in different groups because we feel, we relate. And so what we have to do now is to bring this in the context of economic development. There couldn't have been a better time to start thinking of cooperative arrangements among the Black folks now than it has ever been. What we've been seeing globally now is that government is deregulating, relinquishing control of enterprises. And the global economy is becoming more competitive. And you cannot assert your position in the global context strongly if you do that alone. If we look at the oil companies, their activities, what they've been able to accomplish in the past, no oil company undergoes any of these exploration, development, and production alone. We see different forms of joint venture activities. And this is what we should be thinking about at the grassroots levels. Cooperative society is good because then it brings us in a more strategic form, like what we call strategic business unit. If we look at agriculture, for instance, where cooperative society should play a major role, we have different types of crops across. So if this cooperative is not formed by sector of the nature of the products or geographical area, you find out that it becomes a mixed basket of all sorts of things. And then when we form ourselves in these units, we can leverage, apart from internal pooling of funds, but it makes us more organized that we can source for funds from lending institutions. It makes us more organized to receive necessary trainings and manpower on development to be able to run. It makes it a lot easier to be managed, organized as a going concern. So for Black folks, and this is the reason why when we form ourselves in a group, then we could move a bit further in order to have this as a sustainable means of running businesses. So going back to Africa, for instance, or to Black folks, wherever we are, when you are organized collectively, you you could kill internal competition among yourselves, meaning that when the internal competition is killed among competing farmers, for instance, you can now direct the resources you would have spent on competing with one another to improve either the quality of your services or the quality of your product or skill acquisition, and to run more effectively than to compete with other non-Black businesses. Cooperative society, as a matter of fact, like I've said earlier, is a type of collective economy, but not collective economy in the sense of people might look at it. Some look at collective economy as socialism. So this is managing all for all, managed by all, which in the actual sense would destroy the actual essence, because when you fail to give ownership of the management of things, assign ownership to things, the tendency is that you don't get the actual value you expect. You don't get the necessary attention you expect to be given to those assignments. So breaking into different manageable strategic units is what cooperative society brings to table. And then it should be organized in such a way that it will be amalgamation. It could be collection of people of common interest, which is good. And then you could look across what is everyone bringing on board, apart from the capital that every cooperative member brings on board, but they bring something very unique, and it makes it very manageable. I would like to make this very interactive. I'll pause a bit to see if there are questions I would want to take on as I move on. Moderator, please.
I have a question, Donald.
Yes.
Now you're talking, you've told us that it's very important to be, to work together.
Yes,
what do you think of African Union? Because you cannot compare it to European Union. African Union, we still have borders.
Yeah.
We still have, all those obstacles. Even if you look only at East African community, even
Yes.
West African. Yes. So what can be done so that Africa, continent Africa, can be able to work together? That is my first question. And the other question, can you comment on, some of these contracts you see, like the US taking a trade pact with a country like Rwanda, Kenya, the European Union making a trade contract with a small country like Tanzania. So that is my second. And then my third question is there, how can the African Americans in the US play a role in the African economy? Because China is taking up. How can we join with our fellow African Americans to boost the economy of Africa instead of letting foreigners like taking over?
Great question, Sister Odelia.
Thank you, Odelia. Starting with your first question, looking at what can the continent of Africa, African Union do. First and foremost, I've been saying that the intra-Africa trade is very poor. And we know reasons why they are poor. We don't have those infrastructures, okay? So African Union, as far as I'm concerned, is still a theory, okay? Because the borders are still there. It is even more expensive to travel between one African country to the other. And that is why you see this triangular form of trading that cocoa produced in Cote d'Ivoire is bought by a Nigerian company in Belgium, okay, and then exported to Nigeria instead of buying it directly from Cote d'Ivoire. So we should start developing the infrastructures. We should start developing the road network, the logistics has to be effective. And that is what the European Union does. That once, what we saw during the expansion of the European Union, once new members come into the European Union, the first thing they do is the logistics, the rail, the road, and the air transport for free movement of goods, services, and people. Okay, that should be the starting point. And then secondly, we should bring in capital to make sure that we add value to our products in our own continent. So if cocoa is produced in Cote d'Ivoire, but they don't have the capital in adding value to produce chocolate, they should make it available to countries like Nigeria or Kenya, where these things have to be produced. Let's have zero export of raw material from any African continent. Okay, and of course we have African development. Mood. Technology is very mobile, so we can bring to African continent all technology needed to process our goods. Okay, and we can fly in the experts, okay, or get people trained, transfer this necessary skill to run these industries. So not to have the Nigerian saga where we have crude, we import fuel. Cote d'Ivoire, they have cocoa, they import chocolate. Or countries that have rubber and import tires. So we have to stimulate intra-Africa trade. And to start to do that, we should start developing the infrastructures to have free movement of goods, people, and services. Then on the other question, what can we do? The trade contracts between African countries. This is equally a place where economic blocks will play a very strong part. European Union, the actual essence is that when you negotiate with the European Union, you are negotiating with Belgium, France, Germany, and all the countries within the Euro, so it makes them stronger. So for Africa to negotiate more effectively in the international context, we should come as a bloc. You could not imagine Uganda negotiating with America or Nigeria negotiating with Britain. But if African Union will come up with single common economic policy that would transcend any unilateral trade agreement, so that whoever is coming to negotiate, to discuss, to go into any trade contract with any African country should know that he's facing all African countries together collectively. Because the theory of divide and rule, the principle of divide and rule has weakened us and then led us to throw away. If we have to go back to reassess all the trade agreement between China and African countries, we will see that a lot have been given away. But collectively, we could do a lot better. And then finally, to your question, what can African Americans do to salvage Chinese invasion of Africa? I think capital. Okay, our folks in America, they have all it takes. They have relatively access to capital. They have either in the form of conventional land or borrowing from the banks or crowdfunding. We have a lot of successful African Americans or non-African Americans, the Blacks living in the US. It's about time that Africa starts its own economic development fund. I'm not talking at institutional level, I'm talking at individual levels. That when these funds come together, if you check the population of all Blacks, okay, and everyone contributes $1, I bet you we could raise substantial amount of funds. And this fund would be specifically managed for projects, activities of African interest. And with this, we can take China off our continent. What are they doing there? Let's look at this in perspective. In the solid mineral, taking gold, taking copper, taking iron ore, zinc, because they are there with the cash. They come down with their excavators. They come down with which the local miners don't have. But if we have someone of interest coming in, providing alternatives to what the Chinese are providing, we can definitely take the Chinese off. Okay, because by default, that's our continent.
Yes, yes. Well, thank you, Brother Donald, and I hope Sister Delia, he certainly has addressed much of your discussion, and I certainly concur. And certainly individuals on here, we have a strong network here that are in position, and so I just hope that we can get this work done. And the next young lady that I'm bringing up, she's bringing some significant background in terms of global business transactions. So without further ado, we want to keep it going. We have about 35 more minutes, but hopefully if we could get, perhaps come back and have both of them, sort of elaborate. I would like to get to Sister Angela Sales. So you ready, Angela? You're muted. You muted yourself.
Muted. Okay, I'm ready. And I just wanted to acknowledge Jerry. She had a question for Brother Donald, so maybe we can cycle back and get her question.
Okay, right.
At
A
the
solid
end.
question. Yes, we certainly shall. Thank you.
Okay, let me see. Here we go. All right. Thank you, Brother Donald, for the information that you brought forward today. I'm going to actually share a presentation, but I would like to say mambo to everybody, Varagani, Akwaba, and bonjour, hola, hello, and all the other languages in which we recognize karibu here at our day 4 of our Kwanzaa, where we are recognizing cooperative economics today. So I want to talk a little bit about the principle of Ujamaa, and then I will share with you the work that we are doing at my organization, the Institution of Financial Unity, as academics and practitioners, and looking forward to how we can further build capacity and sustainability as we move into 2021. So the other day we were having a thought leader discussion around Ujamaa, and the brother who created Kwanzaa kind of evolved the definition of the word. So my understanding, the word Ujamaa, the key Swahili word, at its root really means extended family. And that's something I actually just learned as someone who has been observing Kwanzaa for a number of years. I always took it as to mean cooperative economics. And I think it's important to understand the etymology of words so that we know the spirit in which we're really, adopting a principle. And so I asked myself the question, how are these two things related? How can the extended family practice collectivism and practice cooperation in which we elevate our economic status? And, in my mind, these things are interdependent. They're not, mutually exclusive of one another. And what we've been working on with our partners throughout the years is how we incorporate sisterhood, how we incorporate community, how we incorporate family enterprises as part of our economic and business development models. So to me, the extended family is your community. It could be your blood relatives, but it could also be, your kinsmen or your kinsfolk, the people who you break bread with every day, who you sit around the table with, who you worship with, who you socialize with, who you do business with. And how do we help each other to develop financially and economically. Of course, in the past, we have seen models that work. As a matter of fact, one of the organizations, I'll talk about our programming shortly here, but we developed a SUSU to help out in 2020 with women around the world who needed support because of COVID. And so that's not a new concept. In Africa and Asia and other countries, the SUSU system has been a part of economic development. And that is where we have, we share our resources and everybody takes a turn to be able to use those resources. Of course, you know, that system goes directly opposed to the system in which I grew up in, and the systems in which I've been educated in and worked in, which is capitalism. And so capitalism is very much an individualistic idea where it's every man for himself. And we even have a saying that you have to pull yourself up by your own bootstraps. And our systems are built to put us on that track where we go, we get our education, we go to school, we get a good job, we accumulate wealth, and we, you know, keep that for ourselves. And we're seeing the result of hundreds and centuries of years of that concept right now, where we have so many income inequities, we have wealth inequities all around the world. I'm hearing chama, chama, chama. I'm just gonna say chama because I see it. Maybe that's like a mandala, mandala, mandala. But you know, in the spirit of us being collective and being cooperative, that's where we actually have our amandala, which is the word for power. And you know, today when we look at our global economic system as it pertains to people of African descent, if you look in one country, you can see the model and how it's global. So for example, I go to the Caribbean a lot. In the Caribbean, no people of African descent own any part of the global food supply chain. All of the food imports, all of the food distribution, all of that is owned by another race that is not indigenous to that place, that is not African. When we go to Ghana, for example, people that are into the jewelry business are of non-African descent. They have a complete lock on those particular industries. Here in the US, you can go to any, you know, Black neighborhood, and everything from beauty products to basic convenience stores are not, the people in that community do not have ownership of it. People that are not of African descent own all areas of economic activity. And it's not just here in the US. In Europe, it might be a little different. You know, I think there is a lot of African businesses, and of course we have our SMEs, we have our small and medium size enterprises, and we have our mom and pop shops. But in terms of owning any industry, we don't own industries. The Asians, for example, they own 99% of the hair industry, but the consumers of hair are mostly African women. We're the consumers. And so, you know, looking at those disparities means that it is mandatory, it's imperative that we begin to cooperate with our economics, and that we begin to treat each other as family and not just as the bottom line. And I think that's what will differentiate us in the future with other systems. And even for me, it's a challenge because I'm a businesswoman. I've been to business school, several schools at, you know, graduate, undergraduate, graduate levels. I teach business at a university. I've worked in multinational corporations for several decades. And so I understand business at a lot of different levels, as well as being an entrepreneur. So even my mind has to shift, but I know that one person making it doesn't actually, you know, elevate us as a whole. So having said that, I wanted to just share a few slides with you. Let me know if you can actually see the presentation that I'm trying to show on the screen. Are you able to see that?
Yes, we see. We see.
Okay, great. All right. So my name is Angela Sales. I am the founder and unity broker of the Institution of Financial Unity. And today I just want to talk to us a little bit about how we put cooperative economics in practice. And so I want to tell you about some of the work that we do with my organization. Our mission, well, really our vision, you know, it just comes from the fact that we need to develop and secure independent economic and financial models amongst the global Black community. And those are the words that I use, but you know, it can be translated to mean Africans of the diaspora and the continent, descendants of enslaved Africans, people who identify as African descent. We have so many, we have identity politics. So I just want to make it plain that the global Black community means Africans on the continent, Africans of the diaspora, and people who identify as African descent. So that's all of us here. Our mission is to promote collective financial development. And we use the words financial in place of economics intentionally. Okay, it went on without me. Because it's really getting to the root of finance and how we exchange our resources. And our mission is to put actions in place that improve our overall financial position by supporting the movement of our people from being just consumers, spenders, and laborers to being producers, investors, and owners. So we need to shift the paradigm of our relationship to finances. In general, we spend the most money. We work, you know, for people. We work for hundreds of years for free or for little or nothing. But what do we own? Where is our ownership? You know, what are we producing? And so our mission is inspired by the work of Dr. Claude Anderson. He's an elder and he's still with us. And I would, you know, advocate that you look him up and get his books, Powernomics, Black Wealth, White Labor. Black labor, white wealth. And so, you know, part of our tradition is that any work that we do collectively, it should be a continuation of someone that came before us, whether it's our ancestor or if it's an elder, because the work that we're doing, the legacies that we're building, we want to pass that on to the next generation. Because if you die and your work doesn't continue, then you didn't really build anything. You didn't really leave a legacy if your work dies with you. So it's very important that we pay homage to somebody who began to do the work before us and try to continue to build upon that. So that's one of our principles. What you see here is our logo, and I wanted to share the logo. We got this from the Andinkra language. Okay, my presentation is going by itself. And this is the Impatapo symbol. I don't know if you can see my shirt. This is my shirt with the logo of Institution of Financial Unity on it. And what the symbol means, it represents a bond between parties that have been in a dispute to bring us back to a peaceful, harmonious reconciliation. And so when I think of unity, this is the symbol that I think is appropriate for us as Africans throughout the diaspora, because we could think of a lot of our differences. Some of us were enslaved, some of us were never enslaved, some of us have different languages, we have different tribes, we have different faith systems. There's a lot of differences, but the key to this Kwanzaa and the key to cooperating and the times in which we're living is that we reconcile. And we do that in a harmonious way. And so that's why we chose the Impatapo symbol as the logo for our institution. In terms of the goals that we have a lot of goals, but for this particular platform, I want to emphasize goals number 5 and 7. One of our goals is to support Black-owned businesses throughout the African diaspora, and also to provide products and services that support independent financial organizational sustainability. our core tenets have to do with independence. And what that basically means is that we're not relying on external systems to sustain us, because that's what a job is. If you go to work, you know, I could go to work for a job for 20, 30 years, and the minute that they don't need me anymore, and that's the only income I have, I'm in trouble because I'm dependent upon that job or that employer. And so independence has to be one of the foundational principles that we incorporate when we look at collective economics. Our other core value is institution building. How do we work cooperatively to not just be a one-man show, a one-woman show, that we can scale? We need to be able to scale. So part of my appeal is that those of you that are business savvy, you understand the concepts of finance, let us get together and come up with our own solutions. The African Union is not going to do it. The European Union is not going to do it. The United Nations is not going to do it. The Corporation of the United States of America, they're not our solution. Like, we are our own solution, and we have enough intellectual capacity and enough resources and enough spirit to be able to build our own institutions. And of course, we have to do all of that with integrity, because when you're dealing with people's finances, I know as a professional that money is very sensitive. It's a very sensitive topic, and you have to handle that with integrity if people are going to trust you to do that. So some of the programming that we do at the institution, and this is how we put our work in practice. We have 5 tracks under the institution. Of course, our main thing is education, where we do financial action planning under the Get Your Money Right. In 2021, we're launching an executive leadership development program. We also have partners with the Black Wealth Consortium, with the Assetpreneurs Network. And so our main thing is to teach just financial education. Our second track is arts and culture. We are partnered with the Teaching Artists Institute, who of course is hosting this event, as well as Thai Tours. And that is the tour company that, takes us all around the diaspora. We just returned last month from Tanzania, and we will be in South Africa this year for the Teaching Artists Institute conference, which you'll hear more about. And we're also putting together an investment tour back to Tanzania in October. We've been to Ghana in the past. We've been to Cuba, Jamaica, just all over the world, Uganda, Gambia, Nigeria. So we've built, quite a network, but we're partnered in the arts and cultural space with the Teaching Artists Institute. And thank you for providing this platform to let us speak. In the health and wellness space, we have our local partner, Little Africa Food Co-op, and this is cooperative economics in practice. We're putting together a food cooperative that is owned by the Black community. Of course, co-op is not an original idea. Africans have been doing this for a long time. And even here in Black America, we have a strong history of co-ops. But this is important because it addresses the food insecurity issue that exists and that is growing. Here in this country, and maybe in your country, if they shut down the grocery stores for 3 weeks in any of our communities, we would be in big trouble because we can't feed ourselves. So it's important that we put our heads together so that we can own part of the global food supply chain. Africa has the most fertile land, the most rich land, the freshest fruits. So does the Caribbean. Over here, it's wintertime. Nothing is growing where I'm at now. I'm in Ohio, and it's cold, it's snowing. We are relying on food to be brought in. We cannot grow it ourselves. And so we need to figure out how to put this global food supply chain in place. And because I'm part of a network of co-ops, we have a market for those products. And we have a partner, manufacturing partner out in California here. Our fourth track is media, and that's with our local radio program. I'm sorry, it's an international radio program, Team DLW Unity Movement, and also the Global News Network. This is we had the opportunity to present financial sustainability and agribusiness at the CSW 63, which is the Commission on the Status of Women. That was a couple of years ago at the United Nations. We've been participating in that for, this will be our 5th year coming up, and we'll give you more information about that. In terms of our international work, you know, some of the policy and business that we've been involved in is, you know, working in agribusiness. We work with beauty and business. I actually serve as the chair and international host for the Global African She-Rose Union. And we focus on women's advocacy in 16 regions throughout the world. For African women, we were able to develop that susu that I mentioned earlier, and we granted small grants to 10 different women who are change makers in their communities in the different regions of Africa to help respond to the COVID situation that happened on the ground in Africa. And so we partner closely with the She-Rose Sisterhood, and we're developing African sisterhood as a business development model. And so we actually have She-Rose shops on the ground in 4 African countries, and our sisters who make products, be it soap or jewelry or purses, we actually procure those in bulk quantities and distribute those to our She-Rose network throughout the world, so that we're doing commerce one with another. So this is cooperative economics in practice, for real. And then we have a team, Financial Unity Africa. We have a strong team in Kumasi and in parts of Ghana. And also now we have new ambassadors over in East Africa and Tanzania. And we also work in the Caribbean as well. This is just our, we'll be bringing this presentation back this year. We just registered for CSW 65. It's virtual this year, so we won't be in New York, but we're talking about financial sustainability for global African women in beauty and business. We have to get a share of the market. I mean, we spend enough money. We need to be responsible to do that. So I don't know what I'm looking like on time, but you know, if you engage with us, you'll learn more about our social enterprise revenue model. And basically what that is about is just, you know, we're still in the business of doing business, but we want to do business in a way that's socially impactful. Haki, I need to pause?
Well,
okay.
Yeah, so let's well, we thank you.
Can I get 1 more minute to wrap up? Yes.
Sure. Go ahead. Yes, go for it.
1 minute. Okay, so let me get past that. We offer products and services, and okay, so I'll stop sharing now. Please visit our website, financialunity.org, to learn more if you want to partner with us on any of these projects. So it's good to have the dialogue. It's better for us to do something, and so that's what I would like to leave us with today. And thank you for the opportunity to present.
Right,
okay,
beautiful.
Haki.
Thank you. Beautiful. Thank you. And as Angela cues up the video for our next guest, of course, we're going to allow for him to open, but and say a few words, and then we're going to go to his clip to show what he's doing and what he's done in Bagamoyo, Tanzania. But I want to first mention, of course, the Powernomics book. I did post in the chat that I have copies, of course, if people want to get either Powernomics or Black Label White Wealth. I'm a big fan and supporter of Dr. Anderson as well. And also towards the end of this, we're going to be extending this Kwanzaa conversation. So a little bit after 3, they're going to give us a little leeway, but a little bit after 3 or 3 o'clock, we're going to put the link to WURD. That's in the Philadelphia area. So they're going to allow for some of our speakers to be there, and those speakers have been chosen. So that's a major station in the Philadelphia area, and they have seen some of our clips and some of our performances, and they will be playing them today as well as Friday as well. So, you know, a lot more people see this on our Facebook Teaching Artists Institute page as well. So I want to encourage you all to go to that Teaching Artists Institute page on Facebook and like it and share it to your page, as well as other Facebook pages or groups that may have an interest. So let me introduce Brother John. And
quick, Brother Haki,
sure.
I gave hosting capabilities to Kim because I don't have the link, and so I don't know if she can queue it up or either post the link in the chat. Okay, while you introduce him, thank you.
And let me just also mention, while Kim get that ready, she's here, so she's going to get that ready. We have Brother Richard, who's on from where your son is, Angela. He's at Tsuba. So you remember Richard, right, Angela? Of course, of course.
I do. He is the president of the students at Tsuba. He's a quite important guy. So of course, I do know him.
Okay.
Greetings.
So she's ready. But let's go ahead, Brother John, and you speak just 3 or 4 minutes and tell a little bit about yourself, any contact information. Then we're gonna show you a clip. I think you're unmuted. We can see you. Do a mic check. Can we hear you?
Okay.
Yeah. Loud and clear.
You hear me?
Yes.
Habari gani?
Ujamaa.
Ujamaa.
Ujamaa, right.
Asante sana. Ninaitwa Kaka John Gambula. Napenda kuwasalimu katika jina la kwanza, na leo hii ninapenda kuwasalimu sana. My dear brothers and sisters, greetings in the name of Ujamaa Kwanzaa as a 4th principle of Kwanzaa. My name, as I said, is John. I am from Tanzania, and I'm very happy today to join you, brothers and sisters from all over the world, in Europe, in Africa, and in America. Asante sana. I'm an artist from this country, and where I'm speaking now is the place where I was born, to my home village called Bujora, and also it is to my region called Mwanza. So Mwanza and Kwanzaa, it is a little bit relating. But the native of this place, they called Mwanza. So Mwanza is a city, and Kwanzaa. So all talking the beginning, Mwanza, which changed to the name of Mwanza in Sukuma tribe. So I am very, very happy. So today I'm gonna show you one of my product which I used to produce, and it is my creativity, but still people have it and they used to made it, but originally it is from the indigenous instruments as a malimba, and comes to the instruments as a they call it hand pan. But here we call it chungu marimba. Why we call it chungu marimba? It's chungu in Swahili, it's a pot. So it looks like a cooking pot. And why we call it malimba? Because it's a zelfa.
Richard, I'm sorry, not Richard, John.
Hello?
Okay, John. So, all right. Well, we're gonna play your video. So Kim's ready to, we can play what you had. So we'll play that, and then I want you to post your information in the chat room if you can, and we'll just let you, repeat it and say your website or any other contact information as well. So you ready, Kim? Okay, I'm in mute. Not Whitney Houston, Kim, but go ahead.
We have not the sound yet.
Okay, it's coming. It's coming. We're gonna do it again. Maybe it's not loud.
No sound.
I can hear.
Haki, is it okay if you give me hosting so I can play it because nobody can hear it? I can go ahead and cue it up. The sound didn't work. I can cue it real quick. I think it's just a 2 or 3 minute video.
All right. Yeah, she's either sending it to you, Angela.
No, just give me hosting access. Just tell her to give me host back, and
give
then
her hosting access. She's doing that. Correct. She heard you.
Okay, thanks.
Hold on, John. We trying to get this going for you. At least we can.
Okay, here we go.
And I want to encourage everybody to copy and place. Copy it in the chat room. Ismail put it in there, and do share it. On your social media as well. Can you hear? Go for it. Go for it, Angela.
Can you hear? Thumbs up if you can hear.
Anybody?
Any sound?
Nope, no sound.
Sorry.
No sound.
Okay. I don't know what could be going on.
When you share, you have to share sound. It's a separate button to click on the share. It's usually on the bottom when you click share. It's on the bottom before you select the video.
Okay, let me try again.
All right.
Let's see that t-shirt, John.
Yeah, let's see that t-shirt, John. What's that t-shirt you got on, buddy?
Yes.
As we
Look at
Oh, everybody's hearing it. Okay,
Yes,
can I?
we're
Okay,
hearing
that's the
it.
sound
Great.
now.
We hear it.
go.
Yes.
Here we go.
our teacher.
Sorry, go ahead. Do you want to cue it up? Kim, go ahead.
Beautiful work, John. Beautiful work. Yes. I did like Ismael. I went to listen to it separate. Beautiful, beautiful.
Yes.
That was
All
so
right.
beautiful.
Yes. Woo. Yes. Loved it.
So,
We can purchase
John,
these
if you
instruments from you, Brother John.
any contact information, Brother John, what else you have, or I wish you would put your WhatsApp number, but we'll make it happen. Well, we gotta get going to the next. It's 3:05. But John, if you want to just close us out, brother, any following words?
Okay, thank you very much. Thank you very much. My contact is, you can find us at Rithisha Sana Project. Rithisha Sana is the Swahili word. What means is to pass on the arts for the generation. So what I'm doing, I have an NGO which teaching the kids in Bagamoyo, and we want to make it all over Tanzania, teaching kids folk traditional instruments, dance, and creativity, songs and music, and all. As you see from here, it's a lot of drums. What we have it, so we teach for the kids and also for the modern or new creativity. So find us at www.rithisha.sana. I will send my link to our group and the Zoom. Thank you very much.
All right, thank you. So I know Angela may have to go, and we're going to get ready to go to that other part two, shall I say? But I know we had one question. Let me go back to the question. I believe Ishmael asked about global currency. So let's, Brother Donald, or do you want to answer that, or Angela? I believe one of the questions was on global currency, and Jerry had a question. So, Jerry, can you post your question one more time? And I know Kim is going to be on WRD, but we want to balance that out with and not keep them waiting. So, if we could answer that question, what about global currency? Ishmael asked that question.
Global currency in the African context. Well, what I have to say that global currency is good in the sense that it helps to eliminate translation costs, okay, and it helps for easy comparison, price comparison, you know, as to goods and services across borders. So if this global currency in the African context, okay, global people of African descent, I think this is a good thing to do, okay, and if it's well managed, some resources could be created, which as well can be diverted into sustainable development for people of African interest. So I think it's a good thing if pursued, yeah. For reasons I've said. One, it eliminates translation costs. Two, it makes for easy price comparison. So this economic decision process should be a lot shorter and more effective.
All right, and I'm not exactly sure what the question was, but is there a second question? I wasn't really clear on the first question about the global currency. What about a global currency? Okay, that was for Donald. Jerry, did you have a chance to ask your question? You want to unmute and ask, or either put it in the chat box? Okay, go ahead.
Thank you. Actually, it wasn't much of a question, but it was more of a comment that, you know, as Black people, no matter where we are, we should you know, invest in our own businesses. Black people should start going to Black businesses and going to Black shops. Just as Angela, you said, like, you know, we are mostly the consumers, but we're never the producers. And I think that's an important way of empowering ourselves from an economic point of view, and also putting value in our own businesses and the work that we do. And also the question of Chama is also very important, because, you know, we might think this is just underground microfinancing, but now in Europe, what we are seeing is that actually this model is being taken by big organizations to start investing in Africa. So, and I think this is something that we should start reclaiming and owning as our own.
Absolutely, I agree. Actually, Jerry, all the big, they call FANG. FANG is in Africa. Facebook, Apple, Netflix, and Google. And so if there was nothing to be had, they absolutely would not be there. So we definitely have to get in the game. And we should be a little territorial too, because I think it has worked against us that we're so open and so kumbaya. And so, you know, other places, we can't go to China and make any inroads, right? Matter of fact, they're kicking Africans out and being mean. So, you know, the African nature is one of peace, and that hasn't served us well against other ideologies, you know. And so now with Africa being the last frontier, you know, those of you that own land or have a sphere of influence, hold it. It's the hold them and not fold them game. So yeah, we definitely need to get in there and get it going like now. So those are my last words. Donald, I'll let you have the last word before we close.
Thank you very much. And I just want to pin into what you said about having ownership of our resources. Like now, I've been looking into trying to see if we could bring or cutters and polishers of gemstones in Nigeria to have one, okay? And when I heard you mention jewelries, this is something we can, capacity development in our country, job creation, let it be African thing, and you have the platform, the market to, to sell, to where you have jewelries. This is something we could start doing, but I'm very glad being part of this forum, and I would want to, thank you again, and to continue with this.
All right, beautiful.
For us that
I think we are good. Did we get our questions answered? Everybody feeling good?
Yes.
Okay, all right. So we thank everybody for joining us today for our fourth day of Kwanzaa. Yes. So yeah, definitely King, Bitcoin or African currency, I believe he said. So hopefully we can address that, continued dialogue. But hopefully you all, I put the link in WURD. .com. Let me see. WURDradio.com. So you all WURDradio.com. So definitely go to that website and listen to the part 2. Kim is on there right now. She just got on. So, you know, we went a little over, but thank you, Brother Donald. Thank you, John. Thank you, Angela. We appreciate this and all of the presenters that's going to be presenting in the next few weeks. So tomorrow. So until tomorrow, let's continue to do the work and let's continue to unify.
Can we do the Harambe's at
okay, sure. Let's do it. Ready?
And you gotta count them as 7, and the 7th one you hold.
Okay? You do it. You're doing it today. All right.
Okay.
Ready?
So we're gonna say Harambe, which means let's pull together. So count them out, and on the 7th one you hold Harambe as long as you can. So let's start with 1. Harambe.
Harambe.
Harambe. Harambe.
Harambe.
Harambe. The 7th one.
Harambe. That's amazing.
Okay, there we go.
Motukwe.
Hey, kid.
WURDonline.radio.com.
Yeah, good, mommy.
Let's do the next one. All right, Richard, I'll talk to you, buddy.
Good to see you. Good to see you.
Yes.
All right.
Good to be seen.
Thank you.
See you tomorrow, okay?
All right, peace.
Yeah.
All right.
Thank you.
Bye.